Hello, everybody. Hi. Hello. Hello, everyone. Oh, hang on.
Uh-oh.
Should be. Hello? Hello. Okay. I don't know. This setup is being weird right now because I got a new webcam. That might be part of it. But hello, everybody. Hi. If you can hear me. Hello. Hello. Hi. 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 Is everything working over there on the Twitch stream? Please tell me
I
if
hear
it
you
is.
just fine.
Fantastic. And recording seems so something's working at least.
HD John Gaming.
That's right. I got a 1080p webcam um for Crimmy and nice.
We actually haven't spoken at all in the new year, John.
Really?
How has the year been?
That's crazy. First off, I appreciate, you saying so. Saying hi and all that. Um Open up my profile. Go into do not disturb until I'm done. Like, do you want to be on do not disturb for 8 hours? Like, I guess. Okay. Um Anyway, yes. I'm John. I'm the host of the Gamesline podcast normally. This year, I was not on the first episode of the year because I was at a card game tournament. Because there was a I mean, there was kind of a new set for the Hololive game. The set came out last
You
month.
you you are like the Hololive TCG's strongest soldier, and you don't even
Oh,
like.
I'm not.
Oh, are you not? I
Oh,
don't. I have any idea. I say it because you are literally the only person I have ever met who talks about it.
I mean, there's people that are very into it. Don't get me wrong. They are the
Oh, I
other
don't have any doubt.
they are the other people that that I play with, and I am just like I like the gameplay. Hello, everybody, and then they're the ones that are showing up with like full decked out attire and their plushies, and they're like, I'm playing this deck because this is my Oshi. I'm just like
I'm here for the mechanics,
I am.
man.
I was like, hey, which one is like the graveyard deck? And they told me that one, and I said that's the one I want because that's what I play in all the other games that I play. So there you go.
Is there not like is there a term for a graveyard deck? I think there is one in Magic, but or is it just the graveyard deck?
In Hololive, it is called the Archive,
Uh
and in Digimon, which I may also talk about later, that is your I think it's just called trash, like your trash bin on your computer.
you got the you send in the Digimon to the glue factory.
Yes. Yes, it's me, John. With me this time is good old Lily.
It's me. I cleaned my desk.
You did. It looks very nice. Are you planning on cluttering it once more, or do you want to just keep it?
So, here's the thing. I'm not what one would call an untidy person. I like having my desk being clear so I can like do a 180 over the top of my desk and not hit anything. But I am also what one could colloquially call a scatterbrain, a bit of a dingus. So what does end up happening is that I don't have ADHD, but I do sometimes succumb to the doom piles,
Mm.
especially when I need to go from one productive activity to another productive activity. So to answer your question, yes, it will happen again.
Well, I think that could be okay because your piles are no, they're endearing. No, I want to see what happens over all the crazy figures and the things that you Photoshop on there over time. Um,
Well, this one has a theme. This
ooh,
one, we have the tea, given the game that I just reviewed. So it was thematically appropriate. And also, um, I had to not drink coffee anymore because it was kind of killing me a little bit.
How so? I mean, if you feel comfortable sharing.
Um, I have a
Just
case
tummy trouble.
of, yes, exactly that, where it's not even like in the typical sense. I would drink coffee, and it's not other kinds of caffeine, mind you. I am still a Red Bull addict, but I would drink coffee, and then it's like my body would just rebel and be like, "What the hell are you doing to me? Pain now."
You're giving me the evil mud, and I hate you for it. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, I can't do coffee anymore.
That's a
My
shame.
fragile constitution.
I'm still on that Celsius, which I don't know. I have such that does remind me. Because I went to my doctor a bit ago. I should probably have an appointment. I mean, just like a checkup and all. And I told them like, oh yeah, no, like I stopped doing regular energy drinks and I do a Celsius in the morning and that's it. And I was like, those are better for you, right? And then he was just like, 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 "Ok- like you're
What do you want from
honest.
me? I'm just a doctor.
Yeah, like at least you're being honest with me, but also at the same time, I'm like, want me to stop that? And he was just like, it would probably be better if you did, but it's also probably better that you're not doing energy drinks, so you're okay. And I was just like, all right. I don't know. Just like it was weird. I mean, last time I went to the doctor, they were like, your blood pressure's a little high, and like some of your like you're a little off, but it's not that big of a deal. So I was like, okay, all right. I do gotta do better with a lot of things. I get it, but they weren't like you're gonna die next week. I'll take that. But that was a while ago, so who knows? Maybe when I do show up, they'll say, you know what? It's been a couple months. You're
You're a
dying.
calmer, more relaxed John. And also you're dying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that. So, maybe they will be like, yeah, actually, your blood pressure's been going up, and um, I don't know.
What, John? If they said, my friend, uh, Mr. Gaming, you will not be able to collect those creatures. This is life or death. Are you touching your glasses?
No, I just noticed that like my glasses were kind of crooked. So like if I collect any more Pokemon creatures, I will die. That is what they are saying.
Yes. This is the medical condition. John is making his peace.
I don't know what I would be able to do with myself. Like I that's such a large part of my life. I feel like that would be akin to dying anyway. Like it's like I'm dying either way. So I think I'd rather go out. I love.
Say, hey, look, a Pikachu, and then immediately collapsing dead in the street. It is funny because this really does feel like a flashback to the first ever episode of the podcast because the first question I ever had to answer was, "What are you drinking on the podcast?"
Well, I mean, how long have you been here now? Like it hasn't been a full year. You joined up a
Mm-mm.
little ways in, but you're kind of a year into Gamesline. How are you feeling about it? How has being a part of Gamesline changed you?
I mean, I think in a major way. Like, okay. It is funny because in a major way, I wrote. Writing was what I did, but it never felt like writing was part of my identity prior to all of this. Like, sure, like everyone loves discussing their hobbies and the things that they love and find fun. Like you do that outside of the podcast. You don't need like an excuse to do it. But suddenly now that I'm writing like articles regularly, it's now like this giant portion of my life where having people who've never met you before or like only talked to you seldomly just going, oh yeah, you're that one writer who writes about games, and that's really weird. And also a thing that was really inspiring to me, right?
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but even if my writing isn't especially outstanding or doesn't have that much reach, it's kind of crazy. Like people have come to me and been like, "Oh, I saw you writing," and I'm trying not to frame this like an insult, but it's like I saw you writing and figured I could do it. And, I think that's really wonderful, especially like short form has kind of been the du jour or like video content.
Mhm.
And being part of Gamesline, where like, let's be honest, we don't make an exponential amount of video content. We're not putting out like 5 shorts a day or anything, or like I did my streams and stuff, but it's nice that the way that I want to do things has inspired like other people to do stuff. And I guess to more directly answer the question, it feels really good to know that I have this medium with which to have an excuse to write everything regularly, and it's not just my thoughts being lost to the ether, I guess, because when you just say an opinion and you're just saying stuff in a like a Discord chat, those positions don't really need to be defensible because it's there and then it's gone. But I do just think that being part of Gamesline, having an excuse to write something regularly has both made me a better writer, but I also feel like one of those things is just I'm more conscious of my opinions.
Mhm. That is nice to like I that was something that like because I reached out to you about this.
Mhm.
Like, we had our, like kind of invitation. We had folks come out and be like, I wanted new folks to come in, but like I would, like we've been friends for a very long time, and we would just chat about games, and I was just like, Lily, people would love to hear what you have, to know. So I
Mm.
absolutely think that like you joining up was good for you and good for everything. Um, so that's what we're doing basically. We're having and everyone else that we brought on, I thought was also just as important to be like, hey, like now that I know about you and now that I've been introduced to your stuff, it's like, hey, this is you. This is what we're putting out there. Um,
I promise that the next thing I write will not be woefully depressing.
it's you got to write about what you got to write about. If you think that like you highlight things that are important to you, and I don't think that it's necessarily that you gravitate to the depressing things. It's just what happened. And I think that it's good that you're covering these. They're the things that people are probably like more ready to cast aside at
I mean,
times.
I won't pretend that like I don't resonate with dark themes. Like dark themes are a thing that are important to me. Like seeing like the extremity of like experience is interesting. You find out a lot more things with dark things than when everything is okay. The main reason I want the next thing to not be catastrophically depressing is because that's one facet of my
Yeah.
mehood, my selfhood That's the word for it. It's almost like I should know that. But it's one of those things where it's like if I go super one note with it, you know, pathos is a enjoyable thing to express, but I do also love this hobby, and I'm not just using it as a means to just talk about the most depressing games that one possibly could. Um, it is also a bit of a difficulty because like the way I like to write, but I would say that my word count is about where I want it to be. I'm not intentionally being like loquacious on purpose. I actually, believe it or not, I cut a lot out of that kimono tea time
Yowza.
review. It was nearly twice as
Oh
long
my
and it
god.
was bad. But my point is like it's much harder for me personally to review like a game I really really liked recently like and I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, but like Squeakross. Squeakross is like a transcendentally simple game. Like it's nonograms. It's you are making and crafting a puzzle and there is like you do the Animal Crossing room decorating. That's harder for me to review because my gut instinct is like this is a review that could be hammered out in a tweet. And I did, and the Squeakross Blue Sky replied to me.
I mean, yeah, if you liked it, you liked it. That's I mean, I I don't know. It's a weird thing because it's like I I think it's good to have depth criticism and everything, but there's also just sometimes a game really is just it's cute, it's good, because like that's how I've been feeling with that like I got a review code for the Milano's Odd Job collection, and I've been like, hey, I should actually review this. I should write out a review. And I sat down and I tried to churn something out like 4 times, and I was just like, this just isn't happening. Not because like I don't really have like a full opinion on it, because I do, because I like it. But I was just like, this isn't interesting to me, and I don't think this would be interesting to an audience. So I'm doing some different stuff with it. In which instead of just doing a straight review, I'm doing something more goofy. I don't want to spoil it, but the only thing is I don't know when exactly that'll be coming out, because
Mhm.
I will shout it out now. We are going to be starting to do our game of the year stuff very soon. I think this next coming week will be our game of the year releasing things. We have a lot of stuff on the docket. It's not just us. We have a bunch of guest lists and guest articles and the like. So check that out if you're so if you're so swayed. Flying.
I have seen a lot of the drafts on the back end. It's a lot of really exciting stuff. I'm excited to see these new voices out there.
I mean, I'll be honest. I looked at a bunch of that stuff and I was just kind of like, "What are they? Us? For us? You're writing that for us?" Like,
Mhm.
you know.
But that's like exactly what I was saying. Like
I mean, I feel
writing
like that about
stuff.
you sometimes too. Like, I'm just like,
What?
"Ugh."
Like my
I mean, I feel about
I'm not
that for
kidding.
quite a few people on this site, honestly. Like most of the people on this website that isn't John. So I don't know.
Well, it never like it's never not like an honor to have someone do something for you, you know?
Of
Like
course,
when a person takes the time, because writing is a craft, you know? Like anyone can just, post whatever on whatever platform, but taking the time to hash something out, especially with how busy life is, and they're doing it for you, it it is affecting. I
nice.
won't pretend that it's not, you know? But yeah, I promise that my next review. The thing is, because I've been trapped in visual novel hell for like the past 5 months, maybe it's not 5 months. It's been a long time because it was like Zato, and then immediately it was Kimono Tea Time, and then five different people descended on me and said, "Hey, have you played Fata Morgana? You should try Fata Morgana."
Got attacked by the Fata Morgana brigade. Yeah, any such
They
case.
were circling me like vultures, John.
Any such case. Well, I mean, many such cases.
They got you too.
I yeah, I got the fucking limited run like physical release of this shit, and I only kind of like it. So I don't know. I tried to read Fata Morgana like 4 times, and I get further each time, and each time I'm still just kind of like, this is fine. I'm not like crazy about it. It's okay. But
So I need to tell you something because
go ahead.
I could just tell you, I like or dislike it. But I'm looking. I have so one of the things that has really improved my ability to write. So this is both writing advice and talking about a thing at the same time. Just having like a little tiny notebook. I bought a big bulk lot of really tiny like pocket notebooks, and I am scrawling in that all constantly. Like fun little experiment. Journal your post play sessions because then you can't forget thoughts that you've had in the moment. Fata Morgana in this new journal that I started around November is now 28 full page spreads of this notebook.
See, I was doing that when I was reading I was reading this, Witch and the Holy Night. I have all my fucking VNs next to me. I was like, I'm gonna read a bunch of VNs. I'm gonna try to do like a VN a month or something. And I mean, I haven't started any this month, but I mean, I have a stack here of all the VNs that I have to read on Switch and Switch 2.
Is like Switch like the good format for VNs for you?
I don't know. I just buy Switch.
Oh, so
I'm
you're
just a
just
sick.
you're
This is sicko material. This is sicko
okay.
material. Yeah, but yeah. I have Witch and the Holy Night here. I have Fata Morgana
Can I?
here.
I'm gonna out John real quick. Just like a cat begging for food was just like, I want to buy games. I want to expand my game collection.
I've
And then
been
people were
feeling
like,
like,
well, what do you want to buy? And he was like, I don't know, want games.
oh, I do have an idea of what I want to buy. It's just
What do you want to buy?
I also
What is
I think
exciting
it's kind
you?
of stupid. I want to get the Switch 2 port of Bravely Default because I want to play that game. And I want to get the Final Fantasy VII remake port for Switch 2 and Romeo's a Dead Man and Resident Evil 9, which those are not out. All of those except for Bravely Default are not out yet. But I don't know. I'm being fucking weird. This is just me being weird. I'm just thinking about games that I want to play in coming year. That's basically what's happening. Just like I need, I'm feeling the need
I just
to.
don't know. Like, I don't want to be like a downer, right? Like, I don't want to ever turn into one of those people where I don't like want to champion, this industry. But it is also like so many people are going into this year where they're like, "Oh, I'm really excited for this. I'm excited for more news on Divinity 3. I'm really excited for the new, Resident Evil." And we both watched, like the trade shows and all of that stuff, and we watched the news, and I don't really have much that that is explicitly coming out this year that I'm excited for. And It's kind of like why I have settled into this headspace where I want to tunnel backward rather than forward, and it's what makes it so difficult to like be excited to get something like a Switch
Yeah,
because a lot of the time these are new releases that I'm playing on my pooter.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
so much easier, you know?
yeah, like last night I actually went through the Wikipedia page for like 2026 in games, and I wrote down everything that I'm like I would want to play. Like I'm probably not gonna play all of these, but I was just like,
Mhm.
this is just what I'm most likely gonna attempt to do. And it was like there's 4 games on here that we have a date on, and they're all coming out like 3 of them are coming out next month, and then one of them is in a couple months, and then the rest of them there's one, two, three, four, five, six. There's 7 other ones that don't have a date.
Yeah,
So it's
and
like,
so many games I'm excited for. It's just like they're coming out at some point.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I want Control Resonant. Don't know when that's coming out. Deltarune Chapter 5. Don't know when that's coming out. Fate Extra remake. Don't know when that's coming out. Like, it's just okay, sure. And then it's like Romeo's a Dead Man and Resident Evil are next month. Uh, I want to get on Arknight's Enfield. I want to at least check that out. But that's a free gotcha game, so I don't have to worry about like paying for any of that. Then it's like Pragmata is like in what, like March or something?
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, and then yeah, like I want to play Final Fantasy VII remake on Switch because A, I think it's kind of funny, and B, it comes with a Magic the Gathering pack, so I can.
Yeah, you're collecting those damn creatures
So
again.
no, listen, no,
I'm
I don't
listening.
care about that. I'm just, what the fuck? The webcam just like randomly decided to move for no, like I didn't do that. That was really scary. Um,
You did a Breaking Bad slow pan.
that was, yeah, that was messed up. I'm gonna have to figure out why it did that and turn that off. Um, threw me completely off. No, I'm just gonna sell the pack, and now it's cheaper.
Mhm. But yeah,
I never
keeping an
got the. Oh my
eye.
god, it keeps moving. I never got the DLC for Final Fantasy VII remake, so I was like, I'll buy it.
That's
You know,
like the Yuffie
the Yuffie
stuff,
stuff.
right?
So I was like, I'll get that. It's a it's a fun way to purchase this game. It's kind of funny, and also I can just flip the pack to somebody at my card game locals.
Admittedly, I am a hypocrite because I have never been like a portable console, type of person. Like I own like a DS somewhere in my domain. Um, but it's one of those things where I don't use public transit. I am unfortunately the driver. So I don't have an excuse to play like a game on the go. And like but at the same time, the reason I'm a hypocrite is that there are so many games that I think I legitimately would play and enjoy if it were on a Steam Deck.
Hmm.
So I'm a giant stinky hypocrite. But also, I don't know, a big reason that I reach back so often is also like again, indies are they fundamentally have way more control over the game that they're making. They can play with really strange, weird concepts. Oftentimes it is simple pragmatism. So I have a sad story to tell to the people of Gamesline. Um I'm still using hard drives, like mechanical hard drives, for all of my drives in my computer.
Yeah,
So
you've told me this and fucked up, but
because the thing was, I was like, I'll wait for SATA drives to get cheap, then they'll be cheap, and then I can buy a bunch of them, and I'll have a bunch of memory on my computer. And then NVMe drives happened, and I don't have an M.2 drive slot on my motherboard, and now SATAs are now like considered obsolete, and obsolete when you're a tech person means that now it's $600 instead of $200. And the funny thing is, we live in a time where your read write speed is like a bottleneck because the games are so big that they need to write really quickly. Because I tried to play the Final Fantasy 16 demo, and it ran fine in gameplay, but the textures were so intense where characters like it would do the have you ever played like like you played TF2 or like a Source Engine game where you alt tab and then it just replays the last sound effect over and
Yes.
over again? So for me it would be like, you are the inheritor of the phoenix, and then I just couldn't play it, so I have to play Trails instead.
Yeah.
I had to downgrade my hype and aura, unfortunately.
Sorry. Look, if we if you subscribe to patreon.com/gamesline and get us to like a good amount of money, I don't know how much, but a good amount of money, maybe this poor soul will be able to play modern video games in a way that
I
isn't
can
horrible.
play. I can finally play Control Resonant.
Exactly.
But the funny thing was, for Christmas, if we're gonna talk about New Year things,
Sure.
I got this M.2 NVMe enclosure. So it means I can plug it into USB and I can use NVMe drives as an exterior drive. It's just the enclosure though. I don't have a hard drive to
We're
put in it
working
yet.
on it, I guess. It's like it's this is a process.
I I I I am ship of Theseusing my computer slowly and ensuring that it's always obsolete, but in a bespoke, funny way every time.
And that's basically just how everyone's computer is gonna be right now because of the fucking
The memory
memory
shortage.
shortage. So yeah, you're not alone. I will also just point out real quick in the chat here, Safia is saying similar things to what you're saying, where it's like the past few years has shown me I shouldn't really bother keeping an eye on big upcoming releases as much as I should keep an ear to the ground about great indie sleeper hits that no one talks about beforehand. I think that's been the highest set of games that I've found very exciting. And yeah, like I'll be honest, I am still kind of not triple A brained. I guess I'm like double A brained. Like I like bigger Japanese games, but I do also very much enjoy a good out of nowhere hit, as it were.
Like, listen, I have been since joining Gamesline, I have used my place on the podcast to just constantly advocate for like the tiny games. Like Kimono Tea Time, like people barely know what the hell that is. Like, and I'm not saying it like ah yes, I'm the Anthony Fantano of gaming or anything like that. It's more like I'm trying to say like there is like a hypothetical person who's kind of burned out of games, right? And I want to help that kind of person because they'll be like, "Oh man, I'm so bored. There's not like a AAA game on the horizon and I've completely burned myself on out on like Night Rain or whatever
Yeah.
and like all of these games." And I'm like, "You can just go on like itch.io or you can look at a game like because here's the major thing. A lot of the value assessment, like the value proposition for a lot of games is people kind of orbit the stuff that they're told by marketing that they will like. You know, if you are a Pokemon fan, the orbiting is that you should buy this if you're a Pokemon fan. But I also feel like it limits a person's creation of their own sense of values and aesthetic.
Yeah,
Like, there's a lot of games that, on paper, I would not like. Like, I know I've like marketed myself as like the ultra kill head character action gamer,
sure.
but I'm willing to try anything if it says something exciting. And I think New Year's resolutions are bullshit. We all know they're bullshit. But if you could say something that is additive rather than subtractive, like the reason most New Year's resolutions fail is because they feel like punishments.
Yeah.
You should add to your life by saying, hey, this $2 game, maybe I'll try it even if I don't like it. Because at
Take a
that point,
chance.
yeah, just like I think I talked for what, like 45 minutes about fishing, and that game is just I am the noted anti-cozy gamer. A game that's like, well, it's like, you're fishing and it's got interesting mechanics. I'd probably be okay, like sure, whatever. But then they're like, but also it's like what if this was a fishing game set in god dang Twin Peaks? Okay, now you've excited me.
Yeah. Um. All right. Well, I mean, I think we've covered quite a few things already. Um.
Mhm.
Yeah, you were talking about Kimono Tea Time a bit, with your review and all that. Is there anything that you want to bring up on the podcast about that? I mean, I don't know if you talked about it last. Were you on last week? No,
I was not.
dude, this fucking webcam, man. What the fuck? I don't know. Maybe I should leave it on because that was pretty funny. I turned it off. I don't know what the hell happened. Why did it do that? Is it like it went to two? Okay, whatever. All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave this. Okay.
I've centered myself. Okay. Whew. You were saying
I don't even remember. Um,
kimono tea time.
Kimono Tea Time. Yes. Is there anything that you specifically would like to speak about, uh, on the podcast that you just like to reiterate, perhaps that you spoke about on the in the review?
I think like a major thing that I think is very interesting about that is a lot of visual novels are characterized by the fact that you get a lot of choices. And I think like one of the things I didn't talk about in great depth because I felt like it would have broken up the pacing is there are, technically speaking, alternative endings, but for the most part, it's additive. So like there is like a very, very, very light like affection gauge, but it ends up being like actually quite morbid when you think about it because it's not like affection as in romance, it's like affection as in does this person care about you enough to remember you after you're dead. And a lot of those like affection gauges are like, do they leave you like a video memorializing, your relationship together? And technically speaking, that's additional content for alternative endings, but it's largely additive and it's mostly just sweet.
Mhm.
Like, I got all of them because I'm a sick freak, but I don't think that you would be like missing out. Like, here's my recommendation for anyone playing that game. Just do what comes naturally. Like, there's not like a grand punishment for doing the tea badly or good or whatever. But I would highly like I think it's a big part of that game that there is no easy way out. Like, uh you really like Valhalla, right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of like alternative like bad ends in that
Yes.
game,
Yes.
especially if you're not good with your money and like the big charge that happens in the back half if you weren't like saving. Um this isn't like that at all. So this is like Valhalla with a lot of the friction removed. And also your relationship with these characters is very different because you are essentially like cat girl palliative care, as macabre as that is to say. But that's the game, you know? And it wasn't a good thing to bring up in the review because in a big way, that game is very much about death is coming and there is nothing you can do. Use your time as wisely as you can. And I think that that is an incredibly important story, and like I touched on in the review, it is an incredibly post-COVID story, especially given what everyone lived through.
Absolutely.
But I would highly recommend it.
Yeah. I'm glad that I read the review. Like, it's heartbreaking. No, don't get. I thought it was. I thought your insight was very valuable, and I think the game sounds very, very, a very sad way. So,
It is kind of funny in a weird way that I think like that's like my first like 5 out of 5. But I guess the way like because obviously the site has its own review disclosure, like here's what these numbers mean. But to me, like it's a funny thing because the reason it's like a 5 out of 5 for me is because I really, really liked it. I really, really deeply engaged with it. But also, it doesn't really fail at anything that it's trying to do. And, you know, that could be the virtue of it being a much simpler game than something like, you know, Pathologic 3.
sure.
But but it being simple and not messing anything up on its delivery and the stuff that it's trying to do, I think is what I didn't expect it to be a 5 out of 5 until I inputted that number. But I guess, you know, for now and all time, Kimono Tea Time will be my first 5 out of 5.
Sure. I mean, the Gamesline, we have never really been like, oh, a 5 out of 5 is like thing. We don't treat it like it's a
Mhm.
like I GameSpot. I think always treated their 10 out of 10s really like, oh my god, we did it, kind of stuff. And I think I just need to keep my hands down. I think it's doing it because I need to keep. Okay, if it can zoom in on me, what is going on? I'm gonna lose my mind. Why is it doing this? I might have to. I'm plug in my old camera. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Fine now. Good.
But to get to your point though, it's not like I'm not like an English teacher that like that's like a big hard ass where it's like it's impossible for a paper to be perfect. So if you
Yeah.
expect a 100, and it's like, well, you know, that like that's a failure as a reviewer of, you know, anything because like nothing is perfect. You should grade stuff based on what it's trying to do and if it achieves its goals,
Yeah.
not whether it drove you to tears with the perfection of its, you know, its inscrutable shape. But I think a big thing that the big reason that I'm always hesitant to give and like in my private life, let me be frank with you, I don't score media with numbers. I'm uncomfortable even like tiering games that I experience in a year on like a this is my game of the year. But I think like if we're being pragmatic, I think being willing to score all over the gradient is important for people understanding what you value.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, you can't give much like I don't think that giving like your highest score like the most credence is something you should do. But I also don't think that you should just be handing them out. Like,
Right, I mean, it's my strongest possible recommendation, but also, I mean, speaking quite frankly, with any review, it's me, it's my opinion.
yeah,
All reviews are subjective, and at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to play a cozy game about death, you're not probably gonna like it very much.
for sure. Um, see here. I mean, you have you're in your visual novel era. Do you want to speak on any more of those for a bit?
So, because it's just you and me, and I know your feelings on Fata Morgana, I will say the thing that has been eating up the most of my time is Fata Morgana. It's more like in order to get the appropriate dialogue, I don't want to burn everything I have to say here.
Okay.
I will say, most applicably, the presentation for that game is beautiful.
It is.
Uh, the art is wonderful.
Yes.
I will admit, more than one of those songs has been lifted from the soundtrack and now exists on my computer because I like them enough.
Yeah.
Um, I I really like, without going into like story analysis, I like the utilitarian beauty of the prose. I think that a lot of people have this habit of it is what is described as purple prose. You use too many words to describe a mundane thing in the false impression that it grants an air of profundity. I will admit, I don't think that I am 100% immune to that. I am also a giant stinky hypocrite, as we previously established. But I like how Fata Morgana does a really, really good job of talking about some really fucking harrowing, awful subjects with the level of grimness that I think those subjects are due. And I think that I get a lot out of it. I absolutely understand why a person might dislike it, but I know what my vibes are. A lot of people looked at me and it was like the Pokemon battle stare, and they went, "I know what you are," and then they all proceeded to throw visual novels at my head like shurikens. But
I
I
would
had a
I
good
wouldn't
time
blame
with
them
with
for it.
those. I know what I am,
Yeah.
but I had a good time. I will admit, I made a post about it earlier today where it's like I've been enjoying these visual novels, but goddamn, do I want to play something else after this is over? I want to feel the tactile crunch of a controller, and I can't do that when I'm playing the genre known as book you can read while eating dinner.
I totally get it. Like yeah, like it's good that like VNs are very good and I enjoy them quite a bit, but sometimes you just want to act and
Or just like, again, I like interacting with systems. Like I'm a JRPG head, like in a big part because of the narratives in those games.
sure.
They are also
But they're
games, though.
systems. Yeah, they're systems.
Mhm.
I mean, that Digimon Survive. This is the one where it's mostly a visual novel, but there's also RTS, not RTS, turn-based strategy.
Oh, like it's an SRPG?
Yes, but it's mostly a VN, and so a lot of people got mad about that.
Um, was it like advertising that it was like an SRPG and then people were upset at how wordy it was,
So
or
people keep arguing about this. But I distinctly remember that the advertising was like mostly showing the SRPG stuff.
uh
I remember that. But like now people are like they were just saying it was a visual novel and people just weren't paying attention and I was like yeah, they were saying that there were going to be visual novel elements, but they were like it's visual novel elements, but you know, here's a bunch of SRPG footage, but it's like a good 80% visual novel from what I've been told. So
I mean, I feel like the big issue with that is the issue of marketing.
it is
Like if
100%
we
the
want to,
marketing's fault. Like I'm not saying like, oh, fuck them for doing that. Like it's, you know, like I mean that would be
but
hypocritical of me, but yeah, I think it was just bad marketing.
this has been happening forever. Like if we want to go back decades, do you want to know why so many people played god darn Final Fantasy VII? It's because all of the ads were like the fully beautifully rendered polys, and the game doesn't look like that.
Yeah, a bullshot as it were. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad, but you
But
know.
the thing is, it's like, yeah, sure, I can understand a person buying Disgaea and then being upset that it's Witch on a Holy Night,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like I don't know. I don't think that we need to throw out the baby with the
No.
bathwater because those elements are still clearly there.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm going to this visual novel. 'Cause, yeah,
We can
cuz
swap places. I will play the creature collectors for a little while.
hey, you know what? Join me.
I still gotta play SMT5.
You do.
I bought I think I bought
You have vengeance?
SMT5 like yeah, like 2 Christmases ago.
I love that game. That I think that's my second favorite. I think now that I've had some time, 4 is definitely my favorite still. But it's like that,
That's
then
the
Vengeance,
DS one,
then
right?
yes, the 3DS one. 4 is still my favorite, and then I would say Vengeance, then Nocturne, then 4 Apocalypse. But I need to actually finish Strange Journey. I like Strange Journey a lot too, but I haven't finished.
I don't know much about like the different variants because obviously SMT is very different from Persona. What's with the Strange Journey stuff specifically?
It's a little odd. It's not that different. Like it's really not that different at all. Like they're like Strange Journey is basically a mainline game. It plays very similarly to other SMTs. It's just I I really think that the only reason why it's like delineated is because the main character is like a soldier instead of an average person. I really think
But then
that's it.
what about Devil Survivor then?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. It might have just also been like a this is on a handheld kind of thing,
Hmm.
but oh, okay. So Safia in the chat is saying Atlas says that all mainline SMT games have to take place in Tokyo. Okay, and Strange Journey takes place in friggin' Antarctica. So okay, then if that's the case, then that makes sense. Okay, yeah, because they all because every SMT their SMT game at least has parts of it are in Tokyo or in a fucked up version.
I think more games should have like arbitrary lines drawn like that. Like,
It's kind of
sorry,
funny.
you can't play this can't be a Final Fantasy mainline Final Fantasy unless there's a mom rock in it.
And that's how Xenogears happen, right? No.
That's the dad cross.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Pup up Zohar.
But yeah, I have this full list. Yeah, I mean I've been pulling them out, but yeah, I have yeah, Tsukihime, Witch in the Holy Night, Fata Morgana, Digimon Survive, No Sleep for Kaname Date, which that's probably gonna be the worst one. This is probably gonna be the one where I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I have a copy of Canon, which I don't I'm not like a really a romance guy, but I got this game in a very funny way. This is a Japanese version of um and there was a Twitter account for I tried the app and it was a little too cringe for me, but like it helped me a little bit. I don't know. There was like a language app for learning Japanese. I don't even remember what the fuck it was called, but I was following the Twitter account for it, and they were giving stuff away. And at one point, they were like, "We're giving away a free copy of Canon to whoever retweets this," and I won it. They sent it to me, and this did not have an English translation for a really long time, and like I want to say like, excuse me, I want to say like 4 months after they sent that to me, they just announced, oh, the Japanese version is gonna have English text in it in a while. There you go. But then it took them another like 6 months to implement it. But it's there now. If you buy Canon, there's an English patch, like, or yeah, there's an English translation in there, and I think some other languages too. Like I think like Chinese, some other languages. Um, but it's just kind of funny that it was like something that I put on my shelf to just kind of be in the collection, and then they went, "Oh, hey, you can actually play this now." So I was like, "Okay." So I'll give that a shot. I know this is like a classic. I don't know too much about it. I just know that people really like it. Who like VNs and like. I don't know if this is like a weird port or a weird translation or anything like that, but
I
why not?
have a really hard time, I think, with like dating sims and dating sim adjacent games. And not because of like any level of discomfort, but usually because the pro tag has to be so no one
Yeah,
that I can't give a shit about them. Like, you should make your protagonist a little weirdo and then help them find love. Like, I would have more fun with that rather than like, because I recently played Love Curse, and like I don't know, your character is basically just like a default pretty girl who's good at everything, and it's like I can't identify with that. Let me
I,
play as a sloppy bitch.
yeah. I mean, I'm already living the life of a weirdo trying to find love, so I don't know if I need a video game about that, but we'll see. Um, I gotta remember hands under the hands down. I'm like scared to start making the fucking camera moving. Oh my god. Um
Sit like you're getting your photo taken at the
yeah.
DMV.
Um yeah, let's see here. So I've been very focused on two things in gaming. Both of them are or okay, three things actually, because and all of them have been kind of time wasters, but they've been time wasters that I've been very very obsessed with. Um I guess I'll just run through those real quick. I've been playing the Legends Z-A DLC. I don't remember if I really talked about that on here. Um,
Maybe slightly.
Maybe a little bit, but I finished the like main plot of that. And to go through that, they introduce like a roguelike element to the game. Basically, what you'll do is you go to this, you meet up with this little girl who turns out to be the daughter of one of the past games champions, like the Gen 6 champion. They're just like, oh, she had a kid. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, and she's like, well, I am trying to find a legendary Pokemon to give to my mother. And while I was trying to do that, I stumbled into a parallel world, and
This happens.
this happens. Uh, and so this parallel world is starting to overtake our world. So you have to use the powers of a different legendary Pokemon, or excuse, this one is a mythical Pokemon. There's a slight difference. in that legendary Pokemon show up more frequently. Mythical Pokemon usually only show up in like events and stuff. Like you usually have to like download them.
Hmm.
But there's this Pokemon called Hoopa, like a genie, can create holes in space time with his hoops. And so she goes, I can make donuts and feed them to Hoopa. Based on the donuts, that is how your run will go when you hop into the alternate. So you have like a specific amount of time, like based on what donuts you make, and the donuts are also kind of randomly generated. Like you could influence them by being like, oh, this one will be more sweet or this one will be more sour, and that makes things lean certain ways. But then but it's mostly just like you get more time. Your Pokemon's levels go up because they finally made Pokemon go over level 100. Like Pokemon in this alternate universe can go up to level 200, which is crazy. This is the first time they've ever done anything like that. So you have to boost your Pokemon's levels. You have to boost their, yeah, you can boost other things and stuff like that. You can influence things. You could be like, oh, shinies will spawn more often. Big Pokemon will spawn more often. Small Pokemon will spawn more often. Or your attacks will be stronger, etc., etc., etc. But people hate this because it is random. And they did add a bunch of new Pokemon. Whenever they do the DLCs, they'll add more Pokemon from the past games, and they have that whole rotation thing. They were rotating out all the stuff, and because there's 1,000 of the motherfuckers now, so they can't all be in one game. Um, and people are mad because they can't just like blow through and finish their Pokedex because a bunch of those Pokemon are exclusive to those holes, and you can't guarantee anything. Like they might spawn there, but they might not. And so I'm just like, not in a rush. So a lot of people are just mad because they just want to be done. And I'm like, no, I hop on, I do a couple runs, and that's it. Like I'm not really a roguelike guy, but maybe I'm becoming one because I enjoyed this. And I did also get Balatro for Christmas. Someone I don't even
Oh no.
I'm not even I need to figure out who sent it to me. Someone sent it to me for Steam. I don't even know. Um they fucked up my life because I got that and then I didn't play it until I came back from my Christmas break. Um and I have played, let's see, 52 hours already.
Oh my god, John. Are you
Uh
kidding?
no, I'm not kidding. Some of that may be sitting there. Like I may have left it running and then gone and done. But I've played a lot of Elatro and I like it a lot. I'm not very good at it, but I like it. Very good.
The funny thing is, until I played Balatro, I could not have told you the first thing about poker. And now that I've played Balatro, I feel like I shouldn't tell you anything about poker because I'm going to be at the Texas Hold'em table and being like, when does Hanging Chad come out?
Yeah, you're only giving me like 3 cards. Like I should be having like 8, right? Is this like one of the X? No, it's, oh my god, it's so good. It's so much fun. I have become like a huge, like, I don't know if being a huge fan of it is something I could say, but it's just like I'll watch like YouTube videos now, and like I want to like buy like a pack, like I want to buy like a deck that stylized like the cards just to have it. I just like it.
Bro is all about collecting the creatures,
I'm
and I'm
all about
telling
collecting
you.
I guess so. I guess I don't know. I like to. I like what it is, and then it's like also I think that there's like supposed to be an update coming out too this year or something, right? I don't know how sure it is because like I started looking at like local thunk's uh social media accounts, and he was just like, yeah, I don't know when that's coming out. I'm just like I'm just hanging out. I'm not in too much of a rush. I'm kind of
We are
lazy.
going
And
to
it's like
watch
fair.
we're gonna watch a world productivity crash on that day.
Oh my god, yeah. and I will be a part of it. I will 100% be a part of it. Um, but then the third thing that is kind of a time waster that I have been getting really into, or that I've been really into, but I'm close to being done with it. So this will be crossed out. Is I'm still playing that Picross game, the Juufuutei Raden, the museum, the art museum, Picross, uh, which is adorable still. I feel like I've talked about it a bit, so I'll try to be brief. But yeah, it's a by Jupiter, the usual Picross people. They partnered up with one of the girls from Hololive, Regloss, uh, Regloss, who is a huge art history nerd. Like, since playing this game, I found out a good amount about her because, like, the other, like, because most of the game is like you're doing puzzles of famous art pieces. Like, you're doing a Picross and it's revealing like the Starry Night or the Mona Lisa, the Scream, and some of it is also like just other like artistic aspects and stuff, but like it's all stuff that she likes because it's like it's specific pieces of art that she enjoys, but then there's also like a bunch of puzzles that are she's really into Rakugo. So some of the puzzles are just interpretations of different Rakugo stories, and she also really likes things that have lacquer on them. So there's a whole section that is just about lacquer.
You know what? I can respect having a whole video game dedicated to your hyperfixation.
It's like it's genuinely very great because the other thing is that after you finish each puzzle, she comes in and talks about it. And, like usually like if it's a famous piece of art, she'll just talk about like, the history behind it and all that. And then, she just info dumps about lacquer the entire time that you're going over the lacquer section. And then there's another section that you like whenever you finish a puzzle in the main section, it slowly unlocks like one of those Picross puzzles where it's like the ones that you do like a section of and it builds out the picture. And then all of those in this game are based on her. So there's like one big puzzle where it's like this was what happened on my first stream. It was a complete shit show. Isn't that funny? And then like half of them are just her being like, so this is when I got invited to a museum. This is when I went and made my own lacquer, and this was the best day of my life. And this is when I got brought on to do a vocal tour guide thing for a museum, and that was the other best day of my life when I got to record that. It's like that's great, like that's just nice. Like she seems like a really cool person, like just no bones about it. Um, and this is a very cool way to interact with something like that. Like I what I'm guessing is I would think that like maybe just somebody at Jupiter or something was just a big fan of hers and was just like, hey, like I want to make a game about you, and she went, I want to make a game about art, and they were like, let's do both, and they did it, and it's super endearing. It really is.
Do you want to record like 10 hours of VO about you talking about art? And she's like, I'm already halfway done.
She's like, I have that ready now. Like I like where do you want me to send it? Like that was what it was.
Well, the thing is, I saw your little clip on Blue Sky, and it's like this looks super adorable, especially like all the pixel stuff and
Yeah.
like her VO is super charming.
Mhm. It's very nice. Like I don't know if it's gone on like deep sale, but Jupiter games do always go on crazy sales eventually. So I'm sure that in the future that'll be like a $5 game, and I would absolutely recommend it to like if you just like Picross, because like there are so many Picross games like that. Like Jupiter's done so many like weird ones too. Like the only other Picross game that I have bought from them that I've finished completely is the fucking Kimono Friends one. Like that's the kind of shit that they do sometimes, but they also have like a lot of like the video game ones. Like they have like I think they just recently did like I think it was like a yeah, like a Capcom and an SNK one Like there was a Capcom one and an SNK one that they released separately, which is kind of fun. Um, and they've done stuff like that in the past. I think they did a Sega one like a year or two ago. They do that. I absolutely I would recommend all of their stuff. Just if you like Picross, like it's just more Picross puzzles always, and they're always really good and really well presented, and they also go on sale all the time. So I would recommend that one. Like I do think that the Juufuutei Raden one has probably the best personality of one of those games that I have played though. Because yeah, it is like this extremely like passionate and talented individual lending her voice to something that I mean is already interesting. Like don't get me wrong, like I love to take a I I I love a lot of that art already. But there was so many elements where it was just like she like like there's stuff that like I'd never heard of before, and then they will show like zoom ins on things like she'll talk about like, oh, here's this um like antique Japanese like basically just like a bento box that was handmade and painted and all that. They just zoom in on it and it's like look at these like herons that were drawn on this, and it's like just the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen. Like, yeah, I would have never seen this if I didn't play this little Picross game starring this Hololive girl. And like I like just from what I've picked up from her that I've seen like clips and played this game, like she's probably like, yes, like more people are seeing art, like, and that's really commendable. Like just that that's what you do with your chance to make a game is just I want to show people art history. Like I can't help but respect that incredibly.
I think that there is no greater experience on this earth than doing a hyper niche activity alongside someone who is really about that activity.
Yeah.
Like getting to go to like a museum with a person who already has the language to articulate why they love something. It is in of itself because like again, I'm not I love art. I talk about it all the time. But I think like a lot of people aren't equipped to have the language to appreciate art. At least especially not like classical art, because a lot of people just go, is the painting pretty? Yes or no, and then they move on to the next one. But having a person, like even in video game form, even like microdosed,
Yeah.
just being able to be like, look at like the delicate inlays on this box, uh, based on the processes at the time, this probably took an incredibly long time to make. I think that's so much more enriching than just like looking up Scream and just going, yep, it still looks like that.
Um one clip of hers that I saw that I was like, "Oh my god," was you know how I don't know how much you know about Animal Crossing. But
Little.
so in Animal Crossing, uh you can fill out your museum. You find
Hmm.
like fossils, fish and insects and all that. You bring it to the museum, they put it in the display. One of the things that you can get are paintings. And they're all the paintings are famous paintings. Like all the whatever paintings you could think of, they're usually um but usually the only way that you can get these paintings is if there's a traveling salesman who's like a scam
Yeah, I know about
artist.
Red.
Yeah, yeah. And so he has the paintings, and it's just a complete crapshoot if the paintings that you buy from him are real or fake, or at least you would think. But you can they are actually different if you look at the art, but it is so infinitesimally minuscule. Really can't tell unless you had them like next to each other, like in like a guide or whatever. But she was just going in there and on like the fucking like the 3DS screen, being able to be like, no, that's the fake. That's a fake. That's not how that like just from memory. Like, dude, like that's like again, just respect, full on respect. You
Nothing nothing is ever more like exciting to me than seeing someone with an incredibly niche knowledge base being able to just be like, listen, here is like this super in-depth, very specific thing that I know, and I am going to wield it like a sword in this moment.
fuck you, Crazy Red. Kiss my ass, bro. That's what he deserves. Deserves to walk up in there and tell him to shit and leave. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Has been mostly that. I think I'm getting near the end of Trails in the Sky, which I will finish soon. And then after I'm done with that, I think I will choose VN to read, and maybe I'll do that alongside finally playing through Expedition 33. But
How are you feeling about Trails now?
I still like it. Like I haven't so I still very much like it. I do very much like the characters, but like from what I have been seeing a lot of people who are getting into like Trails now with the remake and everything like I have, um most of the people I've been seeing have like gotten to the end and been like, "Oh, like they hooked me right at the end. Like the ending is really of the first chapter is like, "Oh my god." So the fact that I'm enjoying it now for the most part, like it's like I'm like at like a 4 out of 5 kind of right now. It's like I'm sure that by the time I finish it, I'll be like, okay, I want chapter 2 now, which that's coming out this year. So like I'm fully ready to pick up chapter 2. Like that's if that explains whatever, and like I want to keep going into the world too. Like after I want to see what other games they're remaking, I guess, but I'm also perfectly down to play the old versions as well because they're perfectly fine up at. But I'll dig in. I'll dig around.
I mean, I will say with like so I haven't played the remake beyond like the demo. Because I'm cursed, you see. Anytime I get into a franchise that's like super long running, like and I play a good portion of it, that is when they will decide to start remaking it.
Yeah.
But with my personal experience playing like the original one, I would say I felt very similarly to you for like most of it. I played it and I'm like I'm having a really good time. I think the most common sentiment I said, and I've said it repeatedly now on the podcast, where it feels like I'm nostalgic for someone else's like early childhood like JRPG. And I didn't get fully on board until I started second chapter. Like the beginning of Trail's first chapter, like it's a very evenly paced game
Yeah.
because it has, from what I can see, almost like a Pokemon-esque pace. You help everyone in this town,
And you
we
move on.
resolve
Yeah.
everything, and it's even in a big circle. Um and it wasn't until the second one where we kind of broke that ring and we were getting a lot more backstory stuff. A lot of these like things that were alluded to were finally being paid off. The past of every character was blown up. That's when they really, really got me invested. And I think as the story moved onward to stuff like the arc after that, like Crossbell, where they more evenly inserted backstory without giving away everything, so you're not just wondering what the hell is this guy's problem for 40 hours. Um, I think they only ever get better. And so my recommendation is like, yeah, play like the second chapter remake when it comes out, but I would also say like those games are still perfectly playable
Yeah.
and you know, have at them.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be like it's old. I don't know. Like yeah. I'll play the others.
So is the Mona Lisa, you freak.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. You want to hit the news real quick, then we can.
Let us hit the news.
Sure, because there's not a lot, and it's mostly just dumbass shit. It's mostly just dumb shit. Um. So first off here, we have our quick update about the Monster Hunter Wilds video game on a PC. Um, and this is coming from Reddit user DE_TileMarand posted on the Monster Hunter subreddit that they ran some tests and figured out that if your game does not have the DLC installed on PC, it runs far worse because the game is just constantly checking to see if you have the DLC. So if you have it, checks it and it says you're good to go. But if you don't have it, the game is just like, do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it? Over and over and over again, and the game runs like shit.
That is honestly like I was talking about this with some other friends, and like I think there's a gut instinct desire to assume like, oh, this is how they get you to buy the DLC. This is malfeasance. I think it is honestly just one of those things where a lot of people are willing to assume that when games run bad, it's like the devs just they fucked it up. They didn't put it together right. But little stuff like this can just screw up everything. And it's just like, sure, a guy that helped with like I think the guy who discovered it is the same guy who helped optimize like Dragon's Dogma 2.
Sure.
But it's super funny because when you look at how games are constructed, especially a game as interlockingly complicated as something like Monster Hunter Wilds, it's so insane to me that games exist at all when it's just like stuff like this will just happen. And obviously in an ideal world they would have probably had more time to QA the game before kicking it live or whatever. But I think like this is obviously a big ticket example. It's like a major game. This kind of stuff happens all the time.
Like
Like
hopefully
the amount of
hopefully there's an official fix, but at the very least, like yeah, this guy has seemingly just released a mod that makes it so the game doesn't check for the DLC anymore. Like it just that check off. So
Mhm.
there's a mod now that fixes this issue, and like yeah, according to according to this guy, is just like um I'll just read this here because set up two different accounts on the same PC, one with the game installed and the other with the mod installed to check off all the DLC to see how they improved. On the account with no DLC, heavy and stable FPS drops to 20 to 25, but on the account with all the DLC bought, it was 80 plus FPS. And yeah, without any CPU boost in balance mode, any settings, the game flies. So yeah, it's just that. It's really just that.
Gaming is a miracle.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, hopefully Capcom fixes that soon so people don't have to download the mod. But if you're a Monster Hunter fan who's been frustrated with the FPS on that game, here's your fix for now. And our last bit of news here, we are talking about Pokemon creatures, but not in the way that we normally do. There has been an announcement for Pokemon Legos. It is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon this year. I think it's a little bit later in the year. I think it's like No, that seems like something I should just know off the top of my head, but it's okay.
I didn't say anything, man.
I know you didn't. I'm being myself. Um, now exactly. Yeah, it's 96. Whatever. Yeah. But it's the 30th anniversary here, and everyone is hitting all the announcements, the Gen 10 and everything. It's gonna be a big deal, and yeah, one of the things that they're doing this year are a bunch of Lego sets, and they are incredibly expensive.
I hope you like your $600 Blastoise.
I will not be purchasing these. I'm just going to straight up say it. I'm not interested in them because of the price, but also because I don't think they look very good. I think that like they made like a big old statue, and yeah, it is 650 USD for this statue set thing that is the three starters, the Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise. Um and they're very like, that bulky weird Lego look. I don't care for how it looks. They're also doing a Pikachu and Pokeball, which does look like Pikachu is having some sort of allergic reaction. It doesn't look very good. That is $200. They are releasing an Eevee, which is okay-ish, but still not really something that I'm interested in. That one's only $60. Um, and then they announced two other things that were more interesting, but they're exclusives. They announced an exclusive that is if you pre-order the starter set through the Legos like online store or whatever, you can get a set that is like a case, like one of those cases that they would carry around in like the anime and the games that has the badges, and the badges from the first game, so like all 8 of the Kanto gym badges. And yeah, you can only get that if you pre-order the big $650 set. And then they're also selling a a thing on the Lego Insider store, which isn't even for money. You have to use 2,500 Lego Insider points to get a model of a Pokemon Center, which that's the thing that I would actually want. Like if they had like the buildings, like if I could make a town, like if it was like you can build fucking Pallet Town or Celadon City or something, like I would want that. I don't want like big stupid looking figures of the Pokemon. I would want the places, like Lego buildings and like the minifigures are what I like I associate with like Lego sets that appeal to me, at least like as a child and also as an adult. Like that was the kind of stuff that I thought was cool. And also Bionicles, but that's a separate conversation. But the fact that like, yeah, like the two things that I think would be the most appealing to me are the ones that like I just can't get. Like, okay, great. Because people are already like they're pre-ordering the starter set, and they're scalping those, and then they're also scalping the pre-orders for the badge set, and they're trying to sell that for $300 by itself. So it's just all scalping. Pokemon is just scalping these days, and it's driving me fucking crazy. Like it's the biggest thing in the entire world still to this day, and it's just bad. It's just bad to interact with. Everyone is just trying to get one over on each other, and it's not good. I mean, these things are just too expensive in general. Like, I would just recommend if you want a nice model of a Pokemon that looks good, they have plastic model kits that you can get all over the goddamn place, and they're like $15 max. And you can put them together in like 20, and they look on model. And you can pose them. You can do whatever you want with them. So I would say get those. instead of paying $650 for your blocky, shitty looking Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. Like, you can celebrate Pokemon's 30th anniversary far cheaper and in a way that doesn't look like shit.
Respectable position. I mean, even in this day and age, I can't imagine who the target demographic is. Like, is the appeal at that point that they're official?
I mean, those models are official too, but it's Pokemon Pokemon fans, or no, they're not even fans. There is a large subset of individuals that just see Pokemon as, and
God.
that is it. These, like, children are not going to be receiving these. Like, I want to say, like, a good 90% of the people that are going to be receiving these items will not be children. It will be adults, or my age, or like maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, that are going to not interact with. They're not going to build these things. This is not like they're just adult fans. They are going to be purchasing as many copies of these as possible and putting them in their basement and thinking that it's gonna the price is gonna appreciate, and it's not, because the only other people that are gonna want to buy it, people that are doing these, which is what's happening with Pokemon cards still. And that bubble is I don't even, it's not really popping, and more it's, there is a really sad hole in the bubble that is just slowly deflating. That's what's happening right now. Like, there's so many people on like the Poke investing subreddit that are just like, I bought all these boxes, when should I sell them? And like all the replies are like, you should have sold them last year. Like, you're sitting on nothing. Good job. Like, nobody wants them. It's
Mhm.
it's really bad. Like, there are people that do want them, but it's like they're gonna want them for cost. You know, so if you're coming up to them being like, "Oh, I'm gonna sell you this for twice as much," it's just like, no, because I can just go to the store.
I can buy it from the source that is already overcharging me.
Yeah, it's just it's fucking crazy. It's not good. It's not good. Um, but yeah, I do hope that changes. Like, I think it's gonna be rough this year. I think, again, just because of the 30th anniversary stuff. Like, they're probably gonna put out like another celebration style CG set that'll be hyped to hell, and that'll probably be a big sell again. Because what happened was, like, it was because of COVID. Like, people bought shit up because of that, and then there was another big bump because of Pokemon TCG Pocket coming out, and now there's gonna be another big bump for the 30th anniversary. But I think after this, I think it'll go away. Because also, like, all the investor bros are going over to One Piece now for some. Like, I know One Piece is huge. Don't get me wrong, but it's not Pokemon. Like, I don't think that there's no way that anyone is gonna get like Pokemon rich off of One Piece cards. There's no fucking way. Because, like, yeah, like, if I show my mom a picture of Pikachu, she'll know Pikachu. If I show my mom a picture of Luffy, she won't know. So it
Maybe
hasn't.
maybe it shouldn't be that way. Maybe it should be the other way around.
I mean, I don't know. I don't dislike Luffy. I'm okay with one. I haven't read it yet. I might eventually. But every single person I know that loves One Piece is like the nicest person in the world. It's like the fucking, like, you read One Piece and you accept peace into your heart. PEACE. Um, but I mean, I don't know about the people that play the card game though, because I mean, that's just card game people in general. Like,
I mean, everyone knows that all CCG players are evil.
that's true. Um, yeah, I got a bunch of new Digimon cards too. I've been sorting those over here. Um, I got my Diaboromon deck. I'm updating that right now. I got the new X antibody Diaboromon. Don't, please don't. Okay, I that hit me when I was doing that. I was like, oh no,
The ability to do bits
I
is
can't,
ruined
I
by the new
can't,
camera.
can't fucking do anything in this house. Um, I gotta mess with that later. Um, no, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm playing the games that I'm playing. Like, Digimon people aren't crazy investors, and Hololive people are also not that, at least not for the card game. And I mean, I'm not very married to that Hololive game, so if it does become a weird investor thing, I could just sell those cards and then move on. I won't feel bad about that. But Digimon, no, I don't want Digimon. And I want Pokemon to be good again because I would actually like to play the Pokemon. I tried to for a hot minute, and I had to keep interacting with investor people just while I was trying to play the game. And I was like, I think you people get imprisoned, not sitting across from me a card game. So I don't want to play. I don't want to do this anymore.
Here's what I think about Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
They are you familiar at all with the Transformers movie?
Yes, and I like it a lot. I'm not a
They
Transformers
should
guy, but that
do
is a good movie.
the thing where they have a movie as an excuse to kill off every single Pokemon and like have a Pokemon extinction ass event, and then we can start over from zero again.
I mean, that's kind of what they were not fully, but like they wanted to limit it with the stuff in Sword and Shield, and then everyone peed their pants. So I don't know.
Pokemon fans should pee a little bit. That's all I'm
They
saying.
listen. I think that it was a good thing to do that because limiting the Pokedex makes your single player experience more interesting because it limits and regulates what you use through the game. It makes the competitive aspect more interesting because then you have less, wide choices. You're limited by what they allow you to use, and then it also makes DLC interesting because it introduces new stuff, and then it changes the competitive scene as well. Like it's like, oh, here's all this new stuff. Here's how it mixes up the format that was already being set up. I think that's cool. I think that Dexit and all that stuff. I think it was good. I really do. So people are dumb. It's not like they took those Pokemon away forever. Like you could, I think with Legends ZA you can get every single Pokemon on the Switch. They're all just there. Um, but it took them the entire console lifespan, but they did it. Um, but you can't put them all into each game. But it's very screwed up to be like I'm a normal Pokemon fan, but I'm still also a fucked up, crazy, rude beast about it. It's like I'm not normal, but I'm normal about not being.
There's a lot of parentheses in this
There
particular
are,
statement.
but there has to be because I'm trying to be true.
Hashtag John Truth Moments. John, be careful, the
Yeah,
camera.
the camera. Fuck. Okay, Lily, what other games have you been playing? Tell us about games that you've been playing.
Uh, 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 um, so everyone was talking about Final Fantasy last session, so I don't want to repeat too much, but I've also been playing a lot of Final Fantasy. I've been
You
playing a
have,
lot of it.
yes.
Um, it uh, I've been really enjoying this new patch. Uh, if this is going to be like the quickest delve, I will say that I was not super interested in how the story wrapped up for Dawntrail, and now that we're finally doing like oh, we're putting hints of what's to come, the next expansion. I'm interested again. Uh, they got my ass with goofy, scary green woman.
Hmm.
all you gotta do is introduce a goofy, scary woman, and then you got me again.
Green or otherwise.
The green, I'll take her to leave it. We understand that I am I am like the elemental like red cast. I'm the red Power Ranger of women, but 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 I love me a scary goofy woman. So if you're telling me that the conceit of this next expansion is scary goofy woman carries around a flat affect chipmunk, none of that means anything to you, but that is without hyperbole what happened in the last patch. But I'm excited.
I mean, I don't have any kind of context for that, but hearing that out, it's like, okay, that makes sense why you and many other people are interested.
The other thing is, like, you're in your time waster era. I'm in my time waster era because I've been trying to grind multiple classes to level 100. And uh truth be told, I'm impatient. I am very fussy. Uh and the big reason I play mostly healers and tanks in that game is because I don't like to wait. Get me in there. And you probably saw me complaining on Blue Sky because I was like, why is my queue 26 minutes
Yeah,
long?
that seems crazy, especially like yeah, like the patch is relatively new. You would think a good amount of people are playing, right? Or is it just because of what class you're playing?
It's predominantly the DPSs, and it is the kind of stuff I'm queuing for. I'm not going for the new stuff, I'm going for the old stuff to get my poor character leveled up.
Right.
And generally speaking, unless I'm playing with my partner, I'm playing it by myself. So that's why my DPSs are so far behind. Um but I'll get there. I will grind it out daily. Probably as soon as this podcast is over. I will be back in that damn grind. Even though in the same breath I'm complaining like, "Oh, I wish I was playing Trails to Azure right now. Oh, I just want to be playing Trails to Azure right now." And then I won't do it. And then I'll play Fata Morgana instead and cry. But that is the life of the Lily, constantly doing things that I say I don't want to do, and then I do them anyway.
Suffering, you know?
And I still banged out 907 words before coming on the podcast,
That
an
you did.
hour before the podcast started.
That you did. I believe in you always.
I'm flexing right now.
Ooh.
John the camera.
Oh, uh, on camera. Okay. Um, anything else that you would like to discuss?
uh
We're kind of wrapping up here. You know, you've got the floor. What else is going on in your?
so a very lovely friend of mine who is the friend who does the I don't want to be mean to her, but she's a selfish gifter. Have you ever met someone where they will buy you a gift because they secretly just want you to be able to talk about it with them?
I've done that many times to other people. So yes.
So she did that with Pathologic 3.
Okay.
And now she's really mad at me because I was like, well, I haven't played Pathologic 2 yet. She's like, but you could play Pathologic 3 and we could talk about it. And I'd be like, but I gotta play Pathologic 2 though. And so it's fully downloaded and on my computer, and I played a couple of hours of it. But the last time I played Pathologic 2 was in the pandemic, and I went and I looked around myself and I went, I don't think I should be playing this right now.
Yeah.
But that's basically all of my gaming other than talking about Squeakross some more, which I've gotten really good at at assembling a nonagon. And there are mice. My little beeper.
It's very
Beeper the
cute.
mouse.
Post some pictures of
I will do this.
grams. All right. Well, I don't really have anything else. I mean, I could talk about hard games, but I think I've already done that. What we could do is we could just say that if we didn't get any questions on the socials or anything like that. So if anyone in the chat wants to ask a question, go ahead and do so. To give you time for that, I will do the usual wrap up stuff, and then we'll check the chat, see if there's anything, and then we'll be done. Um, yes, thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the podcast. It has been a bit since I've done this, so I apologize. It's rusty, but getting back into it. Um,
Year of gaming.
Gaming, we're in it. If you want to follow along with our year of gaming, we have our website gamesline.net, and our Blue Sky is also gamesline.net. Go on to the website gamesline.net and look at the posts, and then you can follow us on Blue Sky to @gamesline.net. Follow us when there's new posts. We also have our Tumblr, gamesline.tumblr.com, which I haven't really been touching that much. I don't know. We have our YouTube, youtube.com/@thegamesline, which will have VODs of these streams on there. Watch the podcast video form. And if you're listening to the audio for this and you want to watch the podcast being recorded live, you can go to twitch.tv/gameslinetv on Sunday at 6 p.m. EST, or whatever time that is. Figure that out. And then if you want to support us, which I implore you to do, we have been going down a little bit. Our Patreon's kind of, we need to we need the funds, everybody. Patreon.com/gamesline. $3 gets you into our tier where we're gonna get back on Unlimited Real Works. It's been a bit, I know. I don't know why. We just haven't really lined up for it, but we're talking about it, and I think we'll. I want it to be done. This isn't my fault, all right? No, it's
Circumstance.
certain. And then if you want to hang out with us, we got our Discord, thegamezone.zone. Type that into your web browser. It'll bring you straight there. And you can hang out with us in there. It's been popping up a little bit more. We've got some folks in there. We've been talking about dumb shit. It's good. It's fun. I like it. And thank you to Melt Channel/Magic Circuit for our theme song Crush off the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. And, you can always purchase their music whenever, but I will always recommend the best time to do it is the first Friday of every month, because that is Bandcamp Friday, and they get the full cut. So that is my recommendation for that. And Lily, where can people find you online?
You can find me at galilis.jura.bsky.social.
You can find me, John, at john.gamesline.net on Blue Sky. Social, or whatever it's called. And okay, we do have a question here from Gue. I think that's how you pronounce it with all the H. What's the video game genre that Pokemon doesn't have an entry in yet that you would produce? Okay, this is a tricky, because there has been a lot of Pokemon games. There has been dungeon crawlers. There have been strategy games. Like, there's a fucking Nobunaga's Ambition Pokemon game. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I mean, they
Yeah.
even have Power World, and that's a third-person shooter.
I'll say that to me. Fuck you. They have a fighting game. Pokken Tournament's a thing already, and that's a great game. Um, I need to try that close combat game too. That's like a 2D fighter, like it's a fan game, but I've heard that that's pretty good. I should give that a shot. I'm kind of surprised that I haven't really given it a shot yet. Um, um, I would just love. I do really want them to do different things. I'm really glad that like ZA has done such a different thing with like the more real time combat, like Blade MMO kind of like stuff. Um, a horror game might be interesting. Like I would love to see like because like Pokemon, they have a whole ghost type. So I think that would be interesting. But like seeing them like kind of thread that needle, we'll see how that goes. Because they're not gonna go whole hog on it. If they did, I would respect it, but they won't. And that was said by Beryl in the I mean, so the thing that I always really love about Pokemon, like the franchise as a whole, is when they are able to properly express the world of Pokemon as a living, breathing society. So I would love to play a Pokemon City Builder, and I know that they're kind of doing that with Pokopia, but that's more like an Animal Crossing kind of thing. Like I want like a Sim City kind of thing where you're, like placing down buildings and setting up like, like a budget for a city, being like, okay, so you got to figure out who the gym leader is going to be and what, like part of the region, like yeah, where you're going to set up your city, where you're what aspect of the region you're gonna be. Like, is this where like a bunch of people are gonna live? Like, is this gonna be like the starter village? Is this gonna be where the big supermarket is? Like, is this gonna be where like commerce happens? Because there's like a lot of like seaside cities and stuff like that. Or they're gonna be like a lot of piers. Like, I would love to see something like that. Like, I don't know if they're gonna be doing that with Pokopia. Like, I would have to, but that's also some weird fucking post-apocalyptic Kanto thing that like it's not gonna have like I want to have people. I want it to be a living, breathing city, not just like a weird like gardening rebuild society
You
thing like
should
they're doing.
uh you should zoom the scope out a little bit. Like it's almost like a 4X, but it's like a Pokemon region builder.
Sure, yeah, I would absolutely be into that too. Like it wouldn't necessarily be like a competitive like I would yeah like something like a 4X that isn't competitive, like something that is like how can I make this world better as the
Mhm.
goal, not how can I take it over. Because yeah, like like there's so much about Pokemon that is like very weird about how it interacts with real
Politics.
society and politics and the like. Yeah, but I think it would be very good and very interesting to like really grasp and accept like yeah, the Pokemon world is this charming utopia where free healthcare happens and nobody's there's more social safety nets and everything. Like build on that instead of being so cagey about it and like all the stuff with ZA. Like I've spoken about it a little bit before because it's like they have a lot of characters that talk about being homeless and there's also a bunch of characters that very specifically are like hey yeah like we have like our coffee like the nouveau coffee trucks are like yeah we charge for our coffee and all that, but if you come up and you just say hey I need food, we don't charge for that. Like they very specifically like bring that up. It's like that's lovely, but like also there's like anti-homeless benches in the game, and it feels like that's something that they are going to talk about but then they don't. And it's also not like you see any like houseless people on the streets either. Like it just it's very halfway. It's like you can tell that they have maybe good intentions, but then they just don't implement them, and that's very frustrating. So I would love for something that is more rigid in its statement to be our world should be more like the Pokemon world, and here's how the Pokemon world is better because it's about caring for each other and not and also we have these cool animals, like
I've been ruminating,
Mhm.
and I actually have an answer to this question.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting here and I was thinking, what Pokemon game would need to exist for me to confidently want to play a Pokemon game?
Okay,
And I have an answer.
let's hear it.
So, John, you're our Pokemon scholar. So, like, pick out like a dozen of like the most agile Pokemon.
Okay.
And have you ever heard of the game RoboQuest? It's kind of like a roguelike first person shooter where you're shooting a bunch of robots.
I've never heard of this, but it's
So my thought is do like a Pokemon mobility shooter where it's like a trainer mobility course for the Pokemon, and it's not like you're killing anything, it's like you're getting through the course and you're dealing with the targets, and it's like training these agile Pokemon to be even more agile. And I'm pretty sure if that exists, that would probably be like, all right, Pokemon, you got one on me. You got one.
sure. No, I mean, yeah, like I would be down for something like a character actiony kind of thing, but or something like that. Like I am okay with whatever they try. Like I think Pokemon does need to do more with the formulas. I just think that they're still like a little scared about having people play as Pokemon, like other than Mystery Dungeon and I guess now Pokopia. Like I hope that they delve into that more. But again, like I just think that maybe they're like worried about making specific Pokemon like specific characters because it's like they make a character action game. It's like, okay, here's this like named Pokemon kind of like here's this specific guy and it's like, I don't know, they might not want to do that. Unless it's like a
It doesn't
legendary or
gotta be a
something. Like I
specific
don't
guy.
know. Exactly. Like I agree, but I think that might be like why they don't want to do it. They might think that they're doing that. Like you're not necessarily. You don't have to think about it that way. It's whatever. Um
I feel like it exists in a weird space where they really want the Pokemon to be mascots, but it's also inherently tied up in the violence of JRPGs. Because,
yeah.
like, I know everyone on Reddit, fucking circa the early 2000s, all made the facile observation that this is just cockfighting. Everyone knows. But it also seems like the Pokemon Company regularly wants you to forget that this electric rat has killed and will kill again.
Yeah, it's this thing where you can't think about it. It's just like in this separate universe in this if you can't apply your own logic to it, like yes, these creatures, this big dragon can shoot fire at a little lizard and set it ablaze, and then afterwards both creatures walk away from it going, I had fun.
I'm
And
enriched.
you just have to accept that.
Like, and again, I'm not saying like my solution to getting me invested in Pokemon is make it grimdark and fucked up.
Sure.
It's more like on a base level, a lot of Pokemon assumes that you are already a fan of Pokemon, or at the very least, like you have a relationship with the cuteness of the characters.
Sure.
And I'm like, what lends this Pikachu gravitas and pathos? And then they like, they're behind me with like a paper, rolled up newspaper, hitting me on the back of the head and being like, don't think about the anti-homeless architecture.
I would say I mean, you might appreciate Mystery Dungeon more, maybe, because that is like, you're playing as a Pokemon. You're just doing like dungeon crawling adventures and stuff. Like that might be something that you would be into, or maybe like Pokemon Conquest. That's the like SRPG, maybe. But that game's also really fucking hard. Like I mean, I don't know. Like, but also like I don't think that like you absolutely have to play a Pokemon game. Like, if you did, it would be nice, but also like, you've given it a shot a couple of times. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Like, whatever,
I mean, the reason I'm not into it is the exact reason I'm into Trails.
Sure.
Like, having a game that takes its world building and all of its implications super seriously, that is compelling to me in the same way that saying that this fire bear can get as hot as the surface of the sun and that doesn't kill anyone. No one has any problems with that.
Yeah.
It again, I get that it is a game where the primary demographic is children, but for that very reason. I am I am not at an age where I'm gonna just start watching Steven Universe and calling it like the peak of cinema. I ain't no Bluey fan.
Just haven't
I,
you
I
just
need
haven't watched Bluey with real analytical eye that we all do. Okay.
the quiet melancholy of Bluey. 10 million view video essay. It's 9 hours long for some reason.
No, I mean, again, yeah, I totally get it, and like I would not be opposed to them wrangling with that, because like whenever they do start to kind of flirt with that, that is the stuff that I appreciate the most out of Pokemon. Like all the stuff with Pokemon Concierge and all that, which was the show that was focused on a resort where people would go and just have like they would bring their Pokemon, and their Pokemon would be like, they would get to have a vacation, but their Pokemon would also get to have a vacation. And so I thought they did a really good job to be like, hey, this is like how trying to like running a pet resort would be in this world. And I
Mhm.
I thought they did a really good job of being like, yeah, here's all these fucked up beasts, and here's how a normal human being who goes home and has to worry about their bills, and you know is dealing with a breakup, and is being a human being, clocks into work and has to make sure that this Bulbasaur is okay. Like, I thought they did a good job of making that believable, and that's all the stuff that I really love about Pokemon. And I don't think they do that enough, because that's not like easily marketable. It's not just, look at this cute critter. It's world building. And yeah, I absolutely, like, I agree with you 100% that like I would love for Pokemon to do more concrete world building, but that wouldn't be the most marketable franchise in the history of mankind, so they're not going to do it.
And that is why we must remain enemies until the end of time, John.
Not anime. I mostly agree with you. I just also like to collect the creatures.
He admits it. I win.
I Uh, but yeah, I totally want different stuff and to do more stuff. Yeah, like like the city building, the 4X stuff. Like, hell, I would love like a fucking VN. Like, just give me a friggin' like just a story about Pokemon. Like,
Oh, just like Power World. Sorry, I won't do it again.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you for a second. But for real, like that was also something that I really liked about Legends Arceus, was because it was this very specific look into the past of how relationship between people and the relationship between people and Pokemon was formed, and that was so.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm interested in what they do. I want them. The 30th anniversary. That should be it though. Unless yeah, I think that should be good. Unless there's any big old major questions to ask, but if not, uh, thank you so much for listening.
Mhm.
And we'll be back next episode of the Fine Podcast. I would I would wave goodbye, but I don't want to activate the camera again. So goodbye, everybody. Bye bye.
I
Goodbye.
would wave, but I don't have any
You
arms.
don't. Yeah, you're grasping. I think like books or something that I don't know.
Mm.
I think I need to actually. I think I like contractually. You know what? Yeah, we should watch Read or Die for Unlimited Roleworks. Now that I think,
That'd be fun.
yeah, we should do that. I mean, you know what? We should get you on there too.
Well, I can talk about
You
anime.
could. We'll figure that out. Okay.
Mhm.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye bye. Here, I'll do it real quick. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Okay.